Welcome back, everyone. We are almost there. The second to last Day Zero Dark Tournament deck build. And, of course, with Yusuke, I would have been finished, but I decided to do one for each of the time-shifted reprint characters. So, of course, without further ado, here is Botan, a character who, when the first Yusuke Yu Yu Hakusho deck, again, I filmed these rather late, I apologize, and these have been an absolute slog as well. So, when the first Yu Yu Hakusho set dropped, I was actually very shocked that they added Botan as a character, because I didn't think she really did much of anything, except for run around and yell at Yusuke and worry, but she actually turned out to be a pretty fun character to play. Not meta-breaking so much, because they printed a card, I believe right after she was printed, that kind of negated her. If you're on UVS Ultra, look up Pure of Heart, and you'll see that that's why Botan was never played ever again. So, without further ado, let's get into everyone's favorite Grim Reaper, I believe? Spirit Guide. So Botan is a 6-hand size, 25 health character, which is pretty low for a 6-hand size character, but you'll see why in a minute. She has the Death, Order, and Void symbols, and today we decided to go with Death for our Day Zero build. And she has an Enhance, your attack, so you can only use this Enhance during your Enhance step for your attack. Your rival discards one random card and draws one card. Pretty fun. Since it's a random card, your opponent doesn't get to choose which card they lose, so you could end up ripping something really useful like a good block out of their hand, and they do draw an extra card. And then she has a response twice per turn. After your attack deals damage, gain 2 health, and your rival loses 1 health. Notice this doesn't have the magic qualifier of this cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. So if you tap them with a throw, and you leave them at 1, they lose. Pretty solid. And you can do this twice per turn, so technically, she's a 29 health 6-hander. I mean, granted, you can't go above 25 health, but you could heal up to 4 health per turn if your attacks are doing damage. So you could do what they called like the Throton build, where it's just playing a whole bunch of throws and gaining all of your life back and burning extra damage. Plus, the discard of every one of your attacks to just loop through their hand is pretty significant when you see some of the extra cards she gets back from her old kit. Speaking of, moving into our attacks, we have Bat Strike. I believe this was a common for her, and it's a common here. It's a 4/3, 3 low for 4 with a +1 low block. Very nice block. It's got the Fury and Weapon keywords. It says, Enhance, if this attack deals damage, your rival loses X health. X equals the number of cards they've discarded this turn. So you play this late in a string, after making them discard 3 or 4 cards, and then if this deals damage, they lose that extra health on top of the 1 health Botan's already burning for. So that damage can stack up real quick, turning something that's really not a very threatening attack into something that can be absolutely dangerous, especially when you see some more of the extra stuff that I've got built in here. If you're familiar with these cards and you are reading these names, just don't get ahead of me. Next up is Mop Strike. This was her rare attack back in the day. A 4/3, 4 high for 4 with a +2 mid block. It's got Weapon and Desperation 3. So if you are at least 12 health or less, this is a 3 difficulty attack instead of a 4. It says Enhance, discard 1 card. Your rival discards 1 random card. Again, random, so they don't get to choose. Both players draw 1 card. And then Enhance, if your rival has discarded a card this turn, draw 1 card. So you discard 1, your rival discards 1, and then you draw 2. So that's pretty good for keeping your strings up. And again, trying to rip random blocks out of your rival's hand to make sure that they can't keep up with your strategy. So if you're mixing up your attack zones and your rival can't reliably hold the blocks they need, you could slip in some cheeky chip damage and activate Botan's twice per turn burn effect really quickly. Next we have Ore Strike. This was her ultra rare. A 5/2, 4 low for 7 with a +0 mid block. It's got Taunt, Weapon, and the Desperation 3 keyword again. So again, if you were at 12 or less health, this is a 3 difficulty attack instead of a 5. Pretty cool. And it says Enhance, draw 1 card for each card your rival has discarded this turn. You could draw a lot throughout a turn with this card. And then Deadlock Enhance, so if your rival has at least 11 foundations, your rival discards 3 cards. Note they don't get to draw back any of them. So this is a really good finisher, plus it could stack your hand defensively for your next turn, or if you have a way to clear your card pool, you can just keep going in. And a card I'm really excited to use in Botan, Double Palm Shatter. This is the Shigaraki 3 attack, I believe. It says 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 4 with a +3 mid block. Gross, but understandable. It is also a throw, so it will automatically trigger Botan's response if it deals damage. And it says Enhance, your rival makes a check against a difficulty of 5. If they fail, they discard their hand and draw 1 card for each card discarded. If your rival's got 3 cards in hand, Bat Strike automatically ticks onto 3 damage. And then 1 for Botan on Double Palm Shatter, 1 for Botan on Bat Strike. And you can see how the synergy of Double Palm Shatter with... Oh, hello, Sammy. With some of these burn effects can really help this deck go. Especially if they check like a 3, and they're either forced to commit 2 foundations, or risk turning on a whole bunch of damage later on. Hello, sir. Next we have Aura Slam, a 5/3, 3 mid for 5 with a +3 low block. The Slam and Throw keywords, so another throw, this one from Bui this time. It says if this attack is blocked, build the top card of your deck face down committed. So this could build you another foundation to either destroy with some of your other effects, or going into your next turn, you get an extra foundation. But it's also mainly in here because it's a throw, and that automatically triggers Botan's response. And lastly, we have Jaw Jammer, a 4/3, 2 high for 4 with a +3 mid block, again with the throw keyword. It says Enhance, destroy 1 face down foundation, like maybe a committed face down foundation. Hint, hint, Aura Slam. This attack gets +4 damage, so it becomes a 2 high for 8, which then Botan will tack an additional damage on when it deals damage. They will lose 1 health automatically. So the 3 throws here coming in clutch to guarantee trigger that response, while Double Palm Shatter also can help, reset their hand, shuffle up their block zones, and stack up extra damage for Bat Strike or extra draws for Ore Strike. And then the rest of her old kit is here to focus on the discarding, the drawing, and eventually maybe throwing Bat Strike at the end of a string, and just burning your opponent for a lot. Because also Bat Strike does not say that it cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. So Bat Strike can automatically end a game, Botan can end a game herself. It's really, if you can get some good synergy going, you can really throw your opponent off if they suddenly are discarding all of their best blocks randomly and they can't deal with your cards anymore. Moving on to our non-attack cards, we have League of Villains, a 4/4 with a +2 low block. This is an asset with Ally and Unique. It says Response, commit 1 foundation. After your rival plays an enhance ability on an attack or foundation, cancel it. So, notice this does not say non-keyword, so it can cancel Powerful, it can cancel EX, it can cancel Stun, it can cancel any strong foundation abilities. And then in response, after your rival plays an ability on a committed foundation, they lose 1 health. There is so much Tenacious flooded around this area, these 2 sets with Jet Burn and Dark Tournament. And again, League of Villains does not say cannot reduce below 1 health. So you can just burn your opponent down so quick if they're not paying attention, or if they are paying attention, it really limits what they're able to do, so that you can, as even maybe a very low health 6-hander, stay in the game longer. And for actions, I chose Genkai's Guidance, a 1/5 with a +3 low block. It says first form remove, discard 1 card. Your rival discards 1 card. So that starts the setup for things like Bat Strike and Ore Strike, and they don't get to draw up. So if you're going in for the kill this turn, and you just want them to have 1 less card in their hand, and you have maybe a Mop Strike or an Ore Strike to guarantee draw up so you're not really losing 2 cards off of Genkai's Guidance, you can really set up your kill turn pretty easily. And then response, destroy 3 foundations. After your rival plays an attack, remove it from the game. So if you do need to hit that panic button of destroying 3 foundations, like maybe something Aura Slam built-in committed, because it doesn't say ready foundations, you can just press that button and just get rid of an attack if need be. All in all, really good offensively and defensively. Kind of the style I like to play, that pivot style where you can do either or. And moving into our foundations, we have Frightening Calm, a 1/4 with a +3 high block. It says enhance, destroy 1 foundation. This attack gains stun 1. So again, if we're building in cards face down committed, we can destroy them to give our attack stun, which would then of course commit our rival's foundations, which makes it harder to block, which guarantees our attacks do damage, which is what we want, especially a late string Bat Strike. We want to guarantee this hits, so committing our opponent's board out really quick is the way to go. Then we have Toguro's Dominance, a 2/5 with a +2 mid-block, the ally and unique keywords. It says response, destroy. After your rival plays an ability on an asset or foundation, destroy it. So again, denying your rival more foundations, especially if it's something repeatable that doesn't commit or flip itself, something like paying the cost, where you can just lose 1 health, 1 damage, just keep doing stuff like that. This gets rid of that card entirely, so it's 1 less ready foundation they have to deal with. And then, of course, we can't have Botan without Botan's coaching. A 0/5 with a +3 mid-block. It says enhance flip. Both players discard 1 card and draw 1 card. Now, the discard isn't random. They do get to choose which card they want to discard, but, again, it's cycling cards. And honestly, with all of the discard and draw that Botan has, she does have a, obviously not great, but secondary win condition of milling your rival out if you can just force them to draw through their entire deck, plus making all of these checks to just kind of force all of that out and really cycle through their deck fast, especially if they're playing a tight 60, with all the checks they'll make during their turns and defensively, and you just make them draw. That's probably why Botan says your attack. So she does kind of have that secondary win condition if you want to if you think you can lean into it, even if it's just to slow down the game for a couple of turns so you can get the positioning you need, but it's there. Then we have Aerial Recon, a 2/4 with a +2 mid-block. It says response flip. After your rival discards a card during the combat phase, look at their hand. This could be handy if you're scouting block zones and you're not going to force your rival to discard randomly anymore, but I mainly play it for the second response. A response once per turn, Tenacious. After your rival discards a card during the combat phase, ready this foundation. This card does not flip. This card doesn't flip anything else. Basically, it's just once per turn, it readies back up. And this is any combat phase, so if your rival has something that discards on their turn, you can ready this card again as well if it's committed again. So really strong, even though it's a 4-check, it's instant 4 of in Botan for me. Then we have Keiko's Aid, again one of the premier new defensive foundations that has been time shifted back into the Dark Tournament. A 2/5 with a +3 high block. It says response flip. After you block an attack, your rival's next attack gets +2 difficulty. We are on the low end of 6 hand size health, so we want to make every point count and really make our opponent earn every shot they take at us. Next up, we have Pilot of the River Styx. Yeah, so it's kind of like a Grim Reaper, I believe. It's a 3/5 with a +3 high block, and it might be weird to 4x 3 difficulty foundations, but this one is amazing. It has a static that says each ability on this card is only playable if your rival has discarded a card from their hand this turn. But it has 2 responses, the first of which is response commit. After your attack deals damage, your rival loses 2 health. This can reduce them below 0. So Botan is not only discarding cards from your opponent's hand and just messing with all of their strategy, She's a really reliable burn deck, because this doesn't say non-throw. This just says your attack has to deal damage, and they just auto-lose 2 extra health on top of whatever Botan makes them lose, on top of whatever Bat Strike makes them lose. And you can cut your opponent down really quick with stuff like this. Also, a response remove. After a non-character responsibility is played, cancel it. You can cancel Breaker, you can cancel Echo, you can cancel Genkai's Guidance. If they try to blow up their foundations to kick your Bat Strike in a late string, you can say, no, I've made you discard a card this combat phase, I'm going to cancel your Genkai's Guidance. So this is a really solid piece that you want to see early, so that you can start doing that extra 2 burn to really just lower your opponent as fast as possible. Then we have Syndicate Target, a 0/6 with a +0 low block. That says after you play this card as a block, lose 1 health. If we're completely blocking 6 or 7 or 8 damage, I'm sure we're willing to lose the 1 health, especially when we can just gain 2 health after our next attack deals damage. Then we've got Bring It On as a fun little one-of, a 2/5 with a +2 high block, and the taunt keyword. It says response commit. After your rival adds a card to their hand due to their non-character effect, they discard 1 card. Only 1 copy of this ability may be played this turn, which is why it's a one-of. But you have all the cards in Suzuki's kit that draw. You have Botan's Guidance, or Botan's Coaching, which draws. It does have to be due to their non-character effect, so our cards that make them draw don't do this, but it is good for if they're trying to refill their hand because you're discarding a whole bunch of cards from their hand. This punishes them for trying to do that. So I think that's a really good counterplay ability. Basically, you're outsmarting, they're outsmarting. Then we have Confession, a 1/5 with a +2 mid-block that feels very on theme for Botan. First enhance, once per turn, your attack. Your rival discards 1 card and draws 1 card. If the discarded card was not an attack, they lose 1 health. This effect cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. So they do get to choose the card, but if they don't discard an attack, they lose a health. Some of the best block modifiers are on attacks, so it's just more discarding, forcing them to discard and draw. It triggers more ticks for Bat Strike and Ore Strike, and it could cause them to lose more health if they don't have any attacks in hand and they have to pitch something like a Syndicate Target. So again, just messing with your opponent's hand so that they never know what block modifiers they're going to be having access to at any given time. Next up, Gas Cloud, a 1/5 with a +2 mid-block. It says response, after this card is committed due to your rival's non-character effect, they lose 2 health. This effect cannot reduce your rival below 1 health, playable while committed. Again, stun and targeted committal is all over this set. So if you want to protect yourself, make them pay for every stun by making them lose 2 health. Say that your stun 1 is going to cost you 2 health. It cannot reduce your rival below 1 health, but Botan can. Pilot of the River Styx can. Bat Strike can. League of Villains can. As long as we get them to that 1 health, we can get them below 1 health. It doesn't matter, boys. And then it has a Deadlock Enhance, destroy 1 non-unique rival foundation. We're probably not going to see this too much because we want to be able to punish stun, but it is a handy piece of Deadlock if you need it. Then we have Snack Time, a 1/5 with a +3 high block. This is enhanced, discard 1 card. Your attack gets +1 speed and stun 1. We want to make sure our attacks hit, especially Bat Strike. So giving our attack +1 speed and making it commit a foundation is really, really solid. And then as a Deadlock Enhance, flip 1 foundation, draw 1 card. So we can flip a foundation to draw a card, discard a card for 1 speed and stun 1. If our opponent goes to 11 foundations, they are borked. With Snack Time, Gas Cloud, Ore Strike, is just, they don't want to go to Deadlock. Next up we have Graceful Maneuvers, a 2/5 with a +3 mid-block. It says enhance, commit, this attack gets -2 speed. It gets an additional -1 speed for each card in your card pool. So if your opponent's trying to string out, something like maybe a Walk the Dog deck or a Shishiwakamaru deck, you can make sure that you aren't punished for blocking. In fact, you are actually getting a small bonus for blocking, because this is going to give -2 speed, and then pretty much your block's going to ignore progressive difficulty. So that's pretty cool. We have more speed hate with Surviving the Final, a 0/5 with a +3 high block that just says once per turn, enhance, this attack gets -1 speed. Simple and effective. Then we have Spooky, a 2/5 with a +3 high block with the unique keyword. It says enhance, commit, switch the speed and damage of your rival's attack. So if we wanted to, say we Graceful from Maneuvers for -4, maybe -5 speed, and we don't have any more cards in our hand, we can just flip Spooky to then make it basically -5 damage. Well, inverse, but basically it'll do a lot less damage instead of just being very blockable. Then we have Settling Old Debts, a 1/5 with a +3 high block that says enhance, flip, if each player has 6 or more foundations in their stage, draw 1 card. This is pretty much a gimme, because after turn 2, unless your rival just draws really bad or is Karasu, you're both going to have at least 6 foundations. So this is basically just a free draw on a spam, which is pretty good because we want to be able to draw and string out. Then we have Sing For Me, a 2/5 with a +3 low block. We don't really have any momentum outs in this deck, so Sing For Me having a commit, discard 1 momentum, gain 2 health and draw 1 card. Again, that's making all the use of our low health total as much as possible, and it's extra draw. So you don't need to keep a lot of momentum, but if you do have a Sing For Me, it would be good to have at least 1, maybe 2 momentum so that you can have access to this when you need it. And finally, we have Struggling with Studies, a 1/5 with a +3 low block. It says enhance, flip, if this is your rival's 3rd or greater attack this combat phase, add 1 card from your card pool to your hand, turning 1 block into 2, very useful. And then response, before one of your foundations would be flipped due to a rival effect, flip this foundation instead. So if your rival's got any targeted flip, they have to deal with Struggling with Studies first before they can flip something like your Pilot of the River Styx, or your Aerial Recon, or your Snack Time. Something that's really going to put in a lot of work for you. And with that said, guys, that is Botan. She is a 64-card deck, decent block zone spread, but she's mainly, and again, a big part of her defense is the fact that on offense, she can gain health if you're messing with your rival enough to where they can't keep their heads on straight. So, yes, it's okay to half block a lot of stuff on mid if you're going to be gaining more health over your next turn. And with Botan, with Sing For Me, and again, you could put other stuff that could heal you in here. Like I said, this is a day 0. This was literally just the first thing that popped into my mind was, I want to run Botan's old kit. What symbol should I run it off of? Oh, right. We have Double Palm Shatter on Death as a throw. That's going in. That's got to go. Thinking about it, I'd probably throw in some check hacking foundations, like League Interview, maybe, to guarantee something like Double Palm Shatter could work. But otherwise, what do you guys think of the deck? What do you guys think of Botan? Do you think that this returning character is going to make any sort of semblance of impact? I think she's going to be a very fun locals character. You're really going to annoy your locals with Botan. But the power level where it is right now, I don't see her becoming any sort of meta threat. But she is definitely going to be a fun, like I said, locals character, maybe a fun side events character for something like a teams or a triple threat. No, I don't know much about triple threat. I haven't played any triple threat, but she could be fun. And that's part of what this channel is finding characters and decks we can have fun with, not just grinding out the competitive scene, because you don't need me to tell you how to play competitively. If you're a competitive player, you know what you want to do anyway. I'm mainly here to help throw ideas out into the ether and help inspire people to have more fun. Because sometimes, like I said, I'm a hermit because I have a very casual locals. So I've learned over the years that sometimes you just need to kick back and have fun. And Botan's definitely one of the characters you can do it with. I will go up on my mountain for my own training and not bother my locals with that kind of tyranny. But with that said, what do you guys think? If you like the video, please, if you like the deck, please like the video. If you enjoyed deck build content and deck design content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of Botan and what she can do. What kind of fun things that you might do with Botan on maybe one of her other symbols. Until next time, guys, take care.